You know, I just did that whole thing and I never pushed record.
That's just, I could have sworn I hit record on mine, and all of a sudden it wasn't recording.
So, all right. So update. Deb was out of the car. Max was at his tent. I was building a fire. I have proximity alarms out and around, and one of them went off. Now, I don't know exactly which alarm went off. So at first, because I had had some trouble with the prox alarm, and I thought, well, it's probably a dead battery, I had changed the batteries out and hadn't had a system go on. So then I was building the fire. And at that point, the prox alarm went off. So I'm standing next to the thermals. I grab a hold of the thermal. Up there, we're up there. Okay. You should be able to see, maybe see some of that in this camera. But, yeah, it looked like a white form in thermal, of course. And I'm on red hot. No red, just white. And it just, poof, it disappeared in this direction, Prono. Where, yeah, I just heard that too.
Was that just a log popping in the fire?
Maybe. Me and Max first came down here. We started looking this way to see if there's anything else going on. That wasn't. But I did note small rodents in the area.
Yeah.
You wanted to see where you were when you set it back off again?
No. I mean, we could do that. You could go down to walk up that trail and see where that alarm sets off at.
I could do that. Yeah. Do you have a pork chop and like a piece of string?
It only hurt for a little bit.
It's the barbecue sauce. It really draws them in.
You got your radio? Okay, how far down is he?
He's still red in the...
Okay, you want to go down to that intersection and I'll turn the stuff back. What's that?
Oh, he's all white in the camera. What I can see of him.
Okay, TW2's got you on therm. Go ahead and start walking back up and see where you trip that at.
He's red. That's pretty friggin' close.
What's that?
That's pretty friggin' close.
Well, what it could be is, let's say if something was just like, so you can see where he's at. Mm-hmm. Right? And lighten him up. From where I'm standing to where he's at, I would say it's 25 yards. But who knows how much energy or heat or whatever.
This is about half the distance
Mm-hmm.
that location you said you thought you saw it. That first set of sticks.
And what else could have happened too is, there's a time delay between triggers on those. So you may not have been all the way in the time delay yet.
Did I go too fast?
It's possible. But, I mean, like I said, it's more than likely that's the one that went off. Or at least that's what I think. Everything points to that being that prox alarm that went off. So
I didn't mean to turn a light on. I don't know how I did it.
and what was this about your glasses fogging down there?
Yeah. I was standing in the intersection.
Uh-huh.
And my glasses fogged up. Just, I didn't feel colder. I didn't feel anything like that. I didn't change my breathing pattern. I'd had them on the entire time down.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That was the fire. Oh, on that? Okay, push the very bottom button right here. You're going to push and hold
There are
that.
12 bottom buttons for the record. Like there's this row bottom, there's that row bottom, there's this row bottom, that row.
I did not bring the manual with me.
I wouldn't have read anything. I'm a guy.
Okay, so
Push buttons until something happened.
that was interesting.
It was interesting.
So Deb's up at the car. Max is up at his tent at the next site. I'm building a fire when the prox alarm goes off. And at first I thought, well, I must still have a bad prox alarm, and I got a happy prox alarm. Well, the prox alarms have been running for quite a while now, and they haven't gone off. But what happened was, at the moment, the prox alarm went off, and I thought, well, maybe I got a happy one. And then the thought occurs to me, what if you don't? So I grabbed the thermal, which was right there at, still in its case, at the table, looked down in the woods, saw what appeared to be, for as fast as it went, it looked kind of like a tall rectangle, and it took off to the left. Now we went down there, there's an intersection there, and it could easily drop, and if I'm right about the size, it was pretty damn big. So what we did was, as soon as I saw, as quickly as it disappeared, did I grab a hold of a radio? I think I did.
You brought a radio, yeah?
Yeah, I brought a radio. Yeah, I did. I yelled for Max and started the fast wobble, or whatever you want to call it, the fast waddle to that trail, and went down the trail after it. And looking for, I yelled out for Max, get over here. And we went down there. I stood back and we went down there and looked with the thermal that we had, because I just grabbed the first one, which was Dep's, not mine, and panned the area. And at the same time, we was hearing movement in that area, seeing some lights and stuff, which could be boats. I don't know. Blue lights are kind of weird. That's not normal. But we were seeing fireflies. So we did some comparisons against Max and where I was standing in that tree and everything, and how quickly it disappeared. And it looks like it literally just dropped off on that steep part of that hill right behind this campground. So you take where my site was last year, and you have that trail that goes directly to the north out of it. You drop down, we wasn't far, and you get to that intersection. I believe that's where it dropped down, went down. Now, had Max go down there and come back up, to see exactly when he would trip the prox alarm. He didn't trip the prox alarm until he was clear of the woods a little bit. So I'd never seen it. So, but we do believe that that scenario is what fits. Everything works. It was building this fire when the prox alarm went off, and they're all pointed outside this time. And over there where the thermal was, I grabbed a hold of that, opened that box, grabbed a hold of the thermal, turned it on. Right down in there is where I saw it disappear right over the hill. And like I said, we did what we did. So the camera doesn't do too bad in the dark. Let's see how it picks up. Wouldn't it be funny if, like, I suddenly got a set of eyes looking back at me? And of course, the other camera would do just as well.
Temperature dropping.
And hopefully it was the forest rangers, or maybe it was Bigfooters, but somebody set off the prox alarm on the truck driving by it. So, you know, the weirdest part about that, well, like I said, I find that weird that, and just like New York, no movement until after I got the camera, or when I thought of the camera. I don't even know how to say that. Okay, so last night was pretty uneventful. All right, with the exception that two prox alarms kept going off all night because of the wind and the way I kind of put them together. Now, a little bit of noise back there. We didn't hear anything during the night. Did you? You heard breathing,
I
right?
heard breathing, and then I got up and moved to the other side of my tent and continued on. But it wasn't the phlegmy Bigfoot exhalation. It was just deep breaths.
All right, so we'll walk down here and see if we see anything as far as last night while Deb makes breakfast, since that's not that far away.
Max, would you like to make?
No, thank you. I had breakfast already.
So we had wicked wind last night. And the one thing that I have to go up and check, but I have prox alarms on the truck, and they were going off last night too. So I'll have to wander up there and take a look. Oh. Okay. So that's that prox alarm over there. Let's see if I can point out.
Oh, gotcha.
That's what tripped, and that the other ones, to my knowledge, hadn't fallen. And we came back and we sat for a while. See something? Spread out and take a look. See.
Just stuff kicked up. But
See, with all this, these fresh saplings and yearlings, I don't think it disappeared going this way. Besides, where's that tree at? That's a tree. So we want to kind of get in a line between the two. What?
that's small.
Yeah. Are we leaving track? Just barely. A lot of moss. See, like this here. If you go a step here, there I'm leaving where I just stepped.
Mm-hmm. No, but you can see it as well.
Yeah.
So, but you're not going to see it on something like this.
No, it's pretty hard right there.
Or the moss, really.
But if that's where the one that tripped, I mean, it had to have been standing there and I didn't see it. Or none of us saw it. You know? But, again, my attention was towards building the fire. It wasn't...
Yeah. That's all flat.
Very flat-footed. And that looks... You know...
It's a good view.
But still, you would have thought I'd have heard disturbance or something from all these yearlings. Or maybe I just got to the thermal fast enough to... I'm with you. I thought it was, I'm thinking it was all the way down here. Just looking at this in the daylight and all, like I said, all the saplings
Excuse me.
and how quickly it disappeared. You see, if I line this up. See, if it had been right here when I saw it, which that would make sense because that would be about, but it'd have to be a little bit taller. It'd be taller than me.
That's awfully far back. Like, why would the perimeter alarm go off back here?
Well, I was thinking maybe it was coming away from it because once the alarm went off.
Okay, yeah, there was a delay between.
Yeah, there's a delay between the time because I was still like,
Something ran up that hill. Did you see that?
I didn't see anything. Just now?
It's an old trail. It's an old, like it's I would say mass.
I mean, I know this goes behind all the campsites.
I always thought there was a power line out here. What is this trail?
Must be a fire cut. That's the way it had to have went. Go down here and take a look at this real muddy part. Of course, we didn't bring the radios.
Well, we had them all night. So are they dead?
No,
Okay.
no, we weren't transmitting.
This is. Just see a little triangle to hit when your eggs are ready.
No, I wasn't going to go that far. You just sit there and go, you freaking idiot. I'm here to Bigfoot, not here to eat all the time. And see, that goes all the way up to that other campsite.
Huh.
Now, there is another camper over there. But they're farther up
I
that way.
was going to say, we haven't gone.
Unfortunately, I grabbed Deb's thermal on that line. Hers is not good at catching hair. I don't think it was a deer. It could have been.
Haven't seen any out here. On the road to the lodge, there were like 30 of them 2 days ago.
No, there's going to be something of interest. It'll be right in here. So there's a couple deer tracks. Right here.
What?
What's that look like to you? Right in front of me.
And what about this here?
Whoa!
I think that's just runoff. But there was another one that caught my attention down this way. I can't quite see it right now.
Right here. No, look at this one. Look at this. Right here.
Which one? Oh shit. Look at that.
Should we cast it? That looks like toes and everything, man.
Yeah, but are the leaves making it look like toes?
And
But
that's a
I
big
see what
question.
you're saying. But the grass hasn't been stomped down, so it's not
And that's
our
our.
culprit.
We're looking for toes that are straight across. I thought once
Yeah.
we got down here, we would see if there was something of interest to see. It'd be here.
I should have brought my evidence flags. We could put a blue flag in that so we could find it again.
It's pretty soft down in here. Right here.
Right where?
Right in front of me.
Okay.
Should walk on the outside instead of on the inside.
Did you stop here and put your second foot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say if that was a true track, it would be coming this side.
Are you over here, Bill?
Maybe. Not a ground pareidolia.
Yeah. With rain, too, you get those little runoffs that for some reason look like footprints.
I think that one back there looked pretty good. I don't know if it's cast worthy.
It's very flat.
This here's got me intrigued. But you know, what's the chance of anywhere you go?
Ooh, look at that.
Where?
Is that what you were saying?
Right there. Where you see? Toes?
Toes. Small.
Yeah, we see that right there.
Yep.
There's another house foundation up over here. We found that first time we was down here. Well, let's head back up. I was hoping we'd just bump into something real easy to find.
Yeah,
Nope.
I like this trail.
Need to put a camera up here tonight.
Need to put what?
I need to put a trail cam there. Because we know you going that way, what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of hoping maybe we'll do that walk. I don't see anything unusual. All right, let's head up back for breakfast.
See, everything looks like.
Everything looks like a truck.
Huh?
You see, as much as we sunk in,
Yeah.
you know, if something, yeah.
Well, this is also. It poured last night.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as soft.
This is true. I didn't think about that. Oh, and it is very soft right there. And sucky. So our biggest hope to capture something was the camera on the truck. Now, right as I play this, you'll see a little light up in here. That's Mrs. T at the truck. You'll see me over here at the fire. This is the last capture, and trust me, I've worked it in many different ways. We've done what do they call that? Negative view, everything you can think of. But unfortunately, you see this bush right here. Okay. Our area of interest is actually behind it and in this area. So, play it here. Play it again. So you'll see up here a light change. If you look closely, I'm down here making the fire, and Max is way back there. He's up at his tent. And, you know, we're at that time of night. The night vision hasn't kicked in, or the night mode. And, you know, we're probably about at least 150 yards, maybe 175 yards from the truck. So, you know, that is quite a stretch to ask any camera to do. Like I said, I tried cooling the video down to see if I can spot any movement there. Different iterations of light. Just looking to see if you get any detail. Yeah, you can see me right there, right here between those two posts. And I got some paper in my hand to start the fire. So this was taken just before the incident. Like I said, we used several different techniques on this. And we're just at that time of night. We're a bit too far, although that's kind of interesting. Never noticed that before, but and like I said, this is one of the techniques that Matt has developed for looking for movement. Take a look, see. I should be moving right in there. Again, it's just the camera is working very hard that zoomed in, so it was our best hope. That's how this goes, isn't it? Yeah, trust me, I'd looked through this multiple times. And again, apologize for the noise. There's a highway not that far from me, so kind of cool right there, but you know, it's inconclusive as far as I'm concerned. anytime you have to work at something, it's not, in the words of Matt, Central Florida Bigfoot, anytime you have to work at something to get an image or whatever, it's not good evidence. And like I said, you can, in a case in point, when you're looking up in here, play that again. Look up in here, you see some pareidolia stuff going on right here. Faces and stuff start popping out when you're that far zoomed in. And, yeah, if you got to zoom in that far, it's not good. So, in conclusion, now that it's been a good bit of time since that happened, we're talking well over a month now, and I've had time to reflect, and I'm away from the moment. What do I think happened? Well, first, maybe it was something of interest and needs to be followed up on. But what other explanations can there be? Well, number one, I could have misread the thermal. That has happened. If you take a look and you see the baby Bigfoot image that I caught a long time ago, way back in the Adirondacks, I figured out that was a stick. Fortunately, I had 2 cameras going on that particular night and captured that baby Bigfoot was actually a stick in the ground. So, like I said, thermals can trick you. The other thing I thought about, could have been a person. I doubt it because of the size, but you're in an area and people can be there at any time. But I think the likeliness of that is relatively low. And lastly, could it have been a deer bounding down the trail? Because remember, I said, and I'm right next to a highway when I'm doing this. Remember when I said that, it was rectangular shape? Well, the figure itself wasn't rectangular shape. The trees gave it that large rectangular shape to it. So, for a deer to be bounding, it'd be a pretty high jump. And then you're talking about the amount of time that it spent in the air. But, again, I could have misread the thermal. And then it just did a right-hand turn and went down that hill. But there was no alarm call from the deer. There was no snort. There was no telltale sign of, crashing through the woods in the dark. So I don't think so. So, but whatever it was, we reacted to it. And, and like I've said before, I'll show you my swings, my hits. I'll show you my misses. And I'll show you the stuff that I find to be inconclusive. And at this time, I hate to say it, but other than it being a personal experience again, that, not captured on video, can't really get it in depth. It's not like New York, where New York, I'm positive of what I saw. I saw arm, torso, legs, hair. I had the bigger thermal, the 384. The 284 at a distance, it just kind of makes everything look like one color. And you don't get that as fine a detail on the smaller sensor. So, we're inconclusive, but the story doesn't end there. See you down the road.